shopgear.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
From wherever we decide studios, broadcasted live on iTunes, Spreaker, and worldwide, this is the Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast with your hosts, the Crimson Cyclone himself, Cyclone Jones, and of course, the producer, Pat G. The G stands for gangsta. And now kick back and get ready for the eargasms.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know me, I know you, we know each other. Once again, this is a somber one though, man.
Just a little bit.
Oh, I ain't even finished the intro because it finally hit me as I'm doing the intro. So let me do that again. Let me do that again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know me, I know you, we know each other. Cyclone Jones in the building. And unfortunately, this is one of my last shows right now. Yes. However, the show must go on. Pat G will still continue. We will have guest hosts until I am able to return. I am venturing off to central New York and then downstate New York because I am now a New York State Correction Officer. Yes. Clap, 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 clap. Pat G, throw the clapping in there. Don't worry about it. And I've noticed, Pat G, that you like to take out my ad-libs when I'm talking like that. Like the whole add the clapping. You'll take that out during edit. I don't like that. They're there for a reason.
Yeah, they're there for the reason for me to add the clap in.
No, not at all. Oh, not at all. They're there for, to add the clap in and just add it there. But keep my words in so the fans know what's going on.
The fans would know what's going on when they hear applause.
Right, but if I say add the clap in, you'll add the clap in there. It's okay. But just add the clap in.
Alrighty then.
Like, you'll go through I'm like, where's my words I was saying? They're gone. It's bastard edited it out. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Pat G, the G stands for gangster. Pat G, tell them what it is.
Yes, it is episode 66 of the TTRP as we're winding down the career of Cyclone Jones for the time being.
Yeah. Like I said, I am a correction officer now. I go for training in less than a week and a day now.
Week and a day.
No, a week and a couple of days, actually. I have a week and a day left to get prepared. But a week and a couple of days. So what we will be doing is Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast will still be on.
Yes.
We will have guest hosts until I'm able to make my way back up to good old Western New York. With being a correction officer, you have to go to Albany for training.
Of course.
And stay there on campus Monday through Friday. And the weekends are usually, tested to actually get stuff done that you need for the week.
Yeah. It's one of them jobs that, like, hey, work Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday's not really a weekend. It's more like get yourself prepped for the following week.
Exactly. So, and then after that, once you pass everything and graduate, they ship you downstate, But I mean, it is what it is. It's life, and I'm gonna make it happen, But the show must go on, like I've said before.
Yes.
So we'll have different guys. Robbie Vegas may stop by. We may have Sergeant Fury stop by. Eric Eminon. We got a lot of people lined up.
Anthony Gaines.
Got a lot of people lined up to take the mantle. I'm Captain America and I'm passing it off to a white guy. It's crazy. I'm the black Captain America.
So reverse.
It's reverse, yeah.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, on with the show, and the show must go on. First topic up, segment number 1.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
Lars Sullivan and his past.
Yes.
Lars Sullivan was supposed to debut back in January and start a feud with John Cena, which would have led to a WrestleMania match, which Sullivan would have won. Unfortunately, Sullivan, who suffers from anxiety, depression, other mental health issues, got stage fright and got massive anxiety about performing in front of a crowd and everything. WWE's like, we understand.
Yeah.
Take some time off. Get yourself right. Because they've dealt with this situation with Mauro Ranallo, who suffers from anxiety and depression and everything, so they understand the situation.
Right.
So Lars Sullivan went away, took care of what he had to, came back as the monster that they're portraying him to be. And now all of a sudden there are comments and from posts from Sullivan from 2007 to 2013 that included racist statements, anti-Semitic statements, statements against mental health, multiples. Mm-hmm. And when the story broke, people wrote the sponsors of the WWE, Mars being one of them, the Mars company, which does Snickers and the candy bars and everything.
Right. Because it's so close to their name, Lars and Mars. Yeah. Right? That's why they call.
Maybe. But they issued a statement saying they weren't really a fan of this. This doesn't go inside with their
values,
statements,
right?
Their values. And they'll be reaching out to WWE to see what WWE is going to do. WWE decided to fine Sullivan $100,000.
$100,000.
And we're not sure if Sullivan's going to still get the push that he was promised or get a title as soon as it may have happened. Mm-hmm. Because of this. Because WWE is one of them publicly traded companies.
They are.
They have more people to answer to than just Vince McMahon.
Right.
Especially nowadays where they're trying to make the move to Fox Networks, and they're getting pressures from Fox and NBC Universal about their television ratings.
Right, yeah. Fox isn't happy with WWE right now because of the ratings. So WWE is trying to switch it up and throw a curveball and make something happen. But at this moment in time, I mean, I think they need new writers.
I don't know. Well, that's primarily, not to get off subject of Lars Sullivan, that's primarily why the superstar shakeup and the brand draft is pretty much null existent right now.
Right.
Because Fox and NBC was like, yo, your ratings suck.
Yeah.
We don't want some of the stars. We want all the stars. Hence the wild card proposition.
Which is dumb.
So their stars, aka Roman Reigns, can be on both shows.
Mm-hmm. So with that, back to Lars Sullivan really quickly.
Yes.
The thing is that you got to understand, if you are a person that is of abnormal ability, because you're a big dude, muscular dude, and you know where you want to go, you have goals, you have to understand that your personal beliefs and your personal comments in a day of technology can't be expressed. You have to understand that. We are in and I'm sorry to say it, but this is my opinion as well, we are in a crybaby state.
We are.
As soon as something happens, somebody's going to cry. As soon as, somebody says something about me, they're going to cry about it. And they're going to write a petition. They're going to write something. Everybody cries about everything. They're crying about Game of Thrones right now because they don't like the way it ends.
Thrones.
Game of Thrones, Stones. What is it?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thongs?
Yeah, something
like that. Whatever. They're crying about that. You got people crying over Endgame because, they killed Iron Man. Spoiler. Oh my gosh, what's going on?
Listen, if you haven't seen Endgame by now, what have you done with your life?
I know, right? But that's the thing, though. But there's so many people crying about so many little things that you have to understand that they will go into your past and find it and then cry about it. They did it to Kevin Hart. They did it to, who else did they do it to? Give me some names. Come on, give me somebody. You don't know anybody?
Well, Kevin Hart was kind of open because it was very old material.
Right, but it wasn't even material. He was talking about his son.
Yeah, there's a joke about it. He has a joke that they're referencing.
Right.
That's the thing. It's now in the state of everybody's trying to find something from your past that they can use to knock you down.
Exactly. And that's the way it is. So you have to understand that in this day and age of technology, you have to watch what you do, what you say, and how you feel. I mean, and it's sad.
Unless you're superstar Billy Graham. Graham.
I mean, yeah, superstar Billy Graham. Oh gosh. Anyway, and that's why nobody's paying his money.
And that's why nobody's paying.
Exactly.
That's why nobody's paying you a dime.
See, exactly. Like it is backlash for it everywhere. But the thing is that, like I said again, day of technology. You have to understand that everything will be used against you. Everything.
Yep.
So you got to watch what you do. But,
and in the day of technology, you have TMZ reporting today that Ric Flair was having a massive heart attack.
Yep.
And back in the hospital, and he was incredible.
Not a massive heart attack, just a massive, serious medical health issue.
And was in critical condition. And then, like 2 hours after the fact, you had his son-in-law, Conrad Thompson, come out and say it's not that serious.
Yep.
It's a procedure that was already planned for him to have either before or after the Las Vegas dates.
Yeah. Which
Ric Flair decided to have it before so he could be in healthy shape for StarCast. Also, and then you had his wife within the last hour come out and confirm that he's going to recover. Yeah. He's okay.
It wasn't anything like they claimed it to be. And TMZ is a piece of shit for doing that. They are. I mean, it's TMZ.
Yeah.
They jump on everything and they make an attempt. TMZ is like who used to be very, very controversial back
like
in the days.
It's like the tabloids.
Yes, yeah, they're like the National Enquirer.
Yeah,
used
to be.
Sometimes they'll come up with some great information. If they have a great source,
of course.
So they're not completely garbage. They're not completely fake news.
Yeah.
Like your president says.
Also with TMZ, a death. They've reported a death.
Of course, that's correct.
They reported the death. Ex-WWE superstar Ashley Massaro has died at 39. Multiple other news sites have picked it up. The LA Times and everything have picked it up as well. They're not sure as the details or what's going on. She was very recent on Twitter, just as of like yesterday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Details on the death have not been received. Yeah, she tweeted out May 15th at about 6:53 p.m. She just answered a ton of fan mail, so you guys should be receiving them soon. Love it. It's one of them things that's 39. That's young.
Yeah. I mean, with this, you either got to think foul play or drugs.
Well, right now, initial report saying nothing criminal.
So it's got to be drugs.
It has to be
at
drugs, alcohol, something.
Yeah, 39 years old, man.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Unlike the loss that the Buffalo Mafia is feeling with Pancho Villa.
Yeah, that's sad as well, man. That's sad as well.
He lost his battle with cancer.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with the petition to make him a Buffalo Bills for one day. I wish they would have done that.
I heard they had a lot of signatures on it.
They had a lot of signatures.
Everybody wanted them to do it. Unfortunately, just one of the things that didn't get done. But from what I've heard, the Bills are going to do something to honor him.
That's super cool.
And this is a man, not to get off for wrestling, but this is a man that lived in Dallas, Texas.
I thought it was California.
No, Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
He lived in Dallas, Texas. His dad's a Cowboy fan. He became a Bills fan mainly because of the colors.
See,
the red and blue.
Yeah.
And he flew from Dallas, Texas to Buffalo for every home game.
Yep.
He flew to all the away games, from what I understand. Like, this man was a Bills fan through and through.
He was one of the biggest Bills fan that was out there.
Yeah.
Like, he flew from Dallas, Texas, man. It's crazy.
Every home game he was there.
Yep.
Coming in from Dallas, Texas to Buffalo, New York.
That's crazy.
Going from and we're talking like even in the cold temperatures where he's like leaving Texas at 75 in December going to Buffalo at 20 in snow.
That's crazy. But definitely our heads are low and hats are off. Definitely Pancho Villa was a very, very like gentlemen here. Love gentlemen.
Love gentlemen, definitely.
Definitely loved in the Buffalo Bills
and
Mafia.
And on top of it, I believe from whatever he was a wrestling fan as well, because he had that lucha mask.
I was about to say, did you see his lucha mask?
Yeah,
of course he's a damn wrestling fan.
He's got the lucha mask. He had multiple lucha masks that were Buffalo Bills made. Mm-hmm. So he had to be a fan of the lucha libre style.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but rest in peace, Pancho Villa. But that's going to do it for segment 1.
Yeah.
After the break, we're going to talk AEW and their new TV deal, and should WWE be even more concerned?
We're taking a break already?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, we'll take a break. You know how we do this. Kiss my grits. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cyclone Jones, and I am with Pat G. The G stands for gangster. And remember, the TTRP is sponsored by the Gear Network store through Amazon. If you visit shopgear.com, it's a little bit different. That's shop, GERE.com, and click on any of the banners. It will take you right to your account, and you can do all your Amazon shopping there.
When you shop Amazon and Amazon Prime, but Amazon kicks back a small percentage of your purchases back to us here at the Gear Network, so we can continue to bring you the great program that you've come to know and love, like the TTRP Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast, Better Live Than Dead, the FTW podcast, the JC Money Show, and Trust the Podcast from the Gear Network. So that's shopgear.com, SHOPGERE.com for all your Amazon and Amazon Prime purchases from us here at the Gear Network.
Gentlemen, we're back. Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast. Pat G, the G stand for gangster. I am Cyclone Jones, and right now, let's talk some AEW. AEW is the competition now to WWE. And the reason why they're the competition, Pat G, tell them why.
It's because they have a television deal with Turner Media.
TNT.
Yep.
So we will have wrestling back on TNT.
We will,
which is amazingly awesome. Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Chris Jericho,
Kenny Omega,
Marty Scurll,
Britt Baker. By the way, Britt Baker, who is an actual dentist and holds her own offices.
See?
And wrestles on the side.
That's awesome.
They're making, from reports saying she's kind of going to be the face of the women's division.
Yeah, because that's awesome. I mean, right now you got Sunny Kiss. Mm-hmm. You have a roster. Nyla Rose. You have a roster that is full of talent that is brand new and fresh. And I seen on not WWE. I seen on Facebook today that Cassidy Keith, a wrestler out of Ohio, Detroit.
Yep.
He posted something and it rang bells with me that wrestling, it's a great time to be in wrestling.
Oh, it is.
And the reason why it's a great time to be in wrestling right now is because everything is welcomed. Everything. You can be homosexual, heterosexual, transgender, black, white, mixed. You can be everything. Everything is welcome now in wrestling now. When it wasn't back in the day, and all of those, and he was saying that all of those people that used to hide the way they felt in the locker room and segregate against different people or different types of people or different people of color, now it's not like that anymore. Now it's more of a... Back then, he said that it was more of a make money and choose friends later. Now you can have friends in the wrestling business and make money at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a great time to be in wrestling, and AEW is showing that right now, which is amazing. It's young talent, it's young management, it's young direction, and it's directed by someone who learned the business the old school way and is applying it to the new school time. It's awesome. And that's Cody Rhodes, who learned from his father, Dusty Rhodes.
And Cody Rhodes has come out and said, we're not going to be like WWE.
No, they're trying to destroy.
They're going to be different.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this deal is they're partnering with Warner Media to air on TNT later this year. Somewhere in October is the target date.
Yep.
The deal also includes multi-platform access for fans to watch AEW events, airing live weekly matches on TNT in primetime, as well as streaming through the Warner Media's BR Live, which is Bleacher Report, and on pay-per-view. The feedback, the negativity fallback from this was the fact that they're charging $49.99 for Double or Nothing on the 25th. And people are like, the fact that you're charging $49.99 in this day and age for wrestling is kind of ridiculous.
But it's not, though.
But it's not.
Let's look at it this way. It's not because WWE, how much money do you think WWE is actually making off of the network just from $9.99 a month? That's the only reason. That's the only reason why people are saying, oh, it's $49.99 you're charging. That's how much it was before. WWE charged $69.99 for a pay-per-view. Yeah,
for the regular pay-per-views were $49, and then the main four, Survivor Series, Rumble, Mania, and SummerSlam were $59.99.
Yeah, $59.69. So I mean, you can't tell me that it's a lot of money. It's a pay-per-view. You're getting what you pay for. You know, it's gonna be an awesome pay-per-view. People are like, oh, it's $50. But you paid this before. Just because WWE somewhat halfway changed the game a little bit because they were the only cow in the farm, doesn't mean that there isn't other places to get milk.
Also, I love the fact that TNT's Twitter account used the old school like Monday Nitro look for the announcement.
Ooh.
They had the flames and the logo and like that WCW cool. Nitro feel.
That's super cool.
Now, there's a lot of people that are saying like they're hoping that WCW's not really mentioned. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be touched on because Jim Ross was there. Dusty Rhodes was there. I'm like Cody Rhodes was there like as a kid and saw things and everything. But I don't think it's going to be different because the people that aren't in AEW are the people that watch WCW.
Right.
And that's the thing, as you have Cody Rhodes, who learned from his father, who learned from his brother, but you also have all the people that are in them late 20s, early 30s that are there, minus a couple like Jericho, and even Jericho's there, who know the reasons why WCW demised. You're not going to have that again.
No, not at all. Not at all. At least I don't think so.
No.
I think that the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes and Cody will be smart enough to see exactly the issues that plagued other companies and make changes accordingly. Like, I think this is honestly a amazing time for competition in the wrestling world right now.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't think ROH is true competition. I think they're a separate goal. I think AEW is going to actually put competition up against WWE.
I like ROH. I feel like ROH is kind of that ECW type, where it's like back in the Monday Night Wars, and it's been long colluded, and Heyman's even said this. ECW was kind of a feeder program for both WCW and WWE,
right?
And I feel like ROH is now that. Like, ROH is big in its own right.
Right.
But if AEW takes off like a lot of people are hoping it does, and of course you have WWE, I could see ROH being like that gate to being like, you know what, you go to ROH, make a name for yourself, you might get called by one of the two older brothers.
Yeah, you might be, and that's the thing. So I mean, it works out. It definitely does. So we'll definitely have to see what happens and see how AEW handles the TV credits or the TV, TV status is what we'll call it. We'll definitely see how they handle the competition and how the writing is going to be. That's the main thing. You got to make sure that the wrestling is going to be there. You got to make sure that you have a proper story or have something that the fans are going to want to continue to watch. So we'll see.
It's going to be one of the things. Also, Chris Jericho, who posted on his Instagram, because Chris Jericho's all over social media, he posted he was training in the dojo in LA or whatever where he was at for his match with Kenny Omega. Also, he did a interview today and basically said that AEW is competition for WWE because of what they're doing.
Right.
And Chris Jericho, nothing against Chris Jericho, is Chris Jericho's kind of painted himself in the light of he's the guy that made AEW and kind of similar to Hulk Hogan in 1993 when he went to WCW. He's made it legitimate.
Right.
Not saying AEW wasn't legitimate with Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega, who were known, but it's one of them things of Jericho's now in that he's so well known as far as pro wrestling. He's in that Hogan role where he gives that legitimacy to AEW.
Yeah.
He gives that name value because of the things he's done in his career.
Okay. Did you know that Earl Hebner is a referee at AEW?
I did see that.
Wow.
I did see
Earl's
that.
back.
I did see that.
Did you see that? Who else am I scrolling?
They announced
they got
a
lot of different people here.
Yeah, they announced.
Justin Roberts is back announcing.
I saw that.
That's super cool. AEW is making their move. The Private Party. Remember them?
Yes.
You saw them at ESW?
Yes.
Yo.
They got signed by AEW.
That is freaking amazing. Because these dudes are off the chain. So it's gonna be great to see what direction AEW goes with the talent that they have. I mean, this is something that you definitely don't want to miss.
Oh, absolutely.
This right here, you definitely want to jump on this train now, because if it does go the proper way, does go the right way,
it's going to be different, and it's going to be the alternative that everybody has wanted for the last 15, 16 years.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's going to finish it up as we have our special guest coming in.
Okay.
The Caramel Colossus, Barrington Hughes.
The Caramel Colossus.
MLW Star and a true super heavyweight.
Yeah, he is. Big dude. But we're going to definitely check him out. We're going to get this interview going. So stay tuned. We're going to pay some bills. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cyclone Jones, and I am with Pat G. The G stands for gangster. And remember, the TTRP is sponsored by the Gear Network store through Amazon. If you visit shopgear.com, it's a little bit different. That's shop, GERE.com, and click on any of the banners. It will take you right to your account, and you can do all your Amazon shopping there.
When you shop Amazon and Amazon Prime, but Amazon kicks back a small percentage of your purchases back to us here at the Gear Network, so we can continue to bring you the great program that you've come to know and love, like the TTRP Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast. Better Live Than Dead, the FTW podcast, the JC Money Show, and Trust the Podcast from the Gear Network. So that's shopgear.com, shopgere.com for all your Amazon and Amazon Prime purchases from us here at the Gear Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Cyclone Jones in the building. Along with Pat G, the G stands for Gangster. And now it's interview time, baby. You know how we do. We get the best interviews out there. Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast. And today, we are welcomed by the Colussus, the big man on campus.
Yes, MLW Star, the Caramel Colussus, Barrington Hughes.
Barrington, thank you for joining us.
What's going on, boys?
You know, trying to maintain, man. Trying to maintain. Thank you for joining us. Like I said, you know, I mean, this is something that that we usually do. We usually get the best talent out there, the up and coming talent, and sir, you came across the radar, and we had to get you on. So again, thank you for joining us.
No, not a problem, man. Not a problem. I had to make a little time for y'all, so I'd like to run my mouth for a little bit.
No doubt, no doubt. So first and foremost, just to get it out there, just in case some fans don't know you, some fans may not know about MLW, tell us about yourself. What got you into pro wrestling?
All right. Basically, my grandfather is who got me into pro wrestling. That's who I basically dedicated my whole career to. He was a lifelong fan from Jamaica, grew up in New York, of course, so he was a big MSG fan, he was a Martino fan. That rolled over to me generations later, and one of the last conversations me and him had before he passed on in 2010 was, you know, live your life with no regrets, man. If you're going to do something, do it all the way. And 5 days later, you know, Mo Boy was gone. The man I knew was my dad. So a few months later, I was able to find a wrestling school. I started training with Rusty Burks and Flex Magnum, and about 9 months later, I had my first match, and the rest is history.
Wow. Okay. So now you said you trained. Now you trained in New York, right?
No, I trained in South Florida.
Oh, South Florida. Okay. So tell me this. So with you training and with you being a bigger man, because you're the Caramel Colussus, with you being a bigger man. With you being a bigger man, tell me what obstacles do you see, if any, that you may have coming up in the business as a big man?
To be honest, in ring there aren't really many limitations. We can do whatever anyone else can do. You know what I mean? Here, the biggest perception that I see, or the biggest hurdle that I always run into, are jaded fans. Because there's such a lack of big men for such a long time, now that you're seeing the return of the big man, everybody's like, but he's fat, but this, but that. And then you see what a guy like that can do, you know, they're like, well, what the fuck? You know, they're at a lost words. They don't know how to comprehend that we were in pro wrestling for a majority of its existence. And this little drought, that 10, 15-year drought that we were missing, wrestling suffered for it. Let's be honest.
Right.
You know, now that you have your big men coming back, you see the masses, you see media coverage more, because you get those larger-than-life personalities. Yes, you got your AJs, you got your Jeff Hardys, but there's nothing like a King Kong fucking Bundy or a Bam Bam Bigelow, you know, or a Barrington Hughes that'll be able to, like, snatch headlines and be like, yo, look at me. No, I don't have to say anything. Just fucking look at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So, go ahead. You got a question?
He is true. Like, he's talking along the lines of Bam Bam and everything. Like, even talking along the lines of Vader, when Vader would walk out with that big mask. Mm-hmm. Like, that was just larger-than-life type stuff. And that's the thing.
Final boss stuff.
Yeah, and the thing with being a big man out there is, you saying you don't have limitations in the ring. Is it easier to work with smaller guys, or is it easier to work with the guy that's on the bigger side?
It just depends on the kind of story you want to tell, man. Like, I recently worked with Rob Terry down here in South Florida, and that was probably one of my better matches, and one of the easier matches that we've had. And we just went back and forth and told the story, man, and just we laid it in there. We had fun and kept the crowd into it the whole time. Whereas opposed, you give me a smaller guy, we're going to tell way it's been done 1,000 times. We're going to try to put a twist on it. We're going to try to do different things. And that's where the more creative aspect of it comes in, where you can have a little bit more fun and kind of put your own twist on an old tale, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So coming up with your grandfather being a huge wrestling fan, and your grandfather being your motivation, what motivated, other than your grandfather, what motivated you to be a wrestler? Like, who was your favorite wrestler coming up?
My favorite wrestlers coming up were, as a kid, Razor Ramon, of course, being from Miami. Mm-hmm. A little bit older, I started to appreciate Ron Simmons for his contributions. And then right around the time high school came out, I started getting the Japanese tape trading. I don't know if you guys are my age, you remember trading tapes, getting the deathmatch tapes and not knowing what you were going to get on the tape with your buddy. Yeah. I got into Gary Albright, man, and got into that UWFI style, like shoot style. Mm-hmm. And he's been a huge influence on my career now.
Okay. So with your style of wrestling, how would you classify your style of wrestling? With a lot of wrestlers that you just said, like you mentioned Razor Ramon, who was a fighter, but a technician. He knew what he was doing, in the UFC fighting in the Japanese style. What would you say your style of wrestling is?
You know what? I have to say I'm a wrestling bear, dude. Like, it's not pretty, but it's effective.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm the epitome of the wrestling history,
All right. So, with that, I may already have the answer for this question, but I usually ask my main question is, with pro wrestling and with becoming a pro wrestler, what was that like for, I'll break it down for you. The question I'm going to ask you is, what was that spark that made you become a pro wrestler? Like my spark for me personally, when I became a pro wrestler, was that I was just, I was sitting there watching TV and watching wrestling. And then I saw The Rock, and The Rock was my spark to say, I need to do this. It was like it opened up every single pore in my body. Like I sat there and like everything was attentive to that TV screen at that moment in time when he was on TV doing his thing. And that was that click for me to say, I need to be a pro wrestler. Do you have that instance?
I had my click fairly young, man, believe it or not. Mine was when 1, 2, 3 Kids finally beat Razor Ramon for the first time.
I remember that.
Was my spark. Yeah, I was a kid. I was like 6 years old, man. That was like, to hear that crowd go crazy.
That was like the first 6 months of Monday Night.
It was unreal, and that was it. And then my best friends in middle school and high school, we always kept the little notebooks and created characters and designed costumes, and we all did shit like that. And I was the only one that just kind of went as far as I did.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So with that, now are your parents are in Florida as well? Yeah.
Okay.
So how do your parents feel about pro wrestling? And well, I mean, I know you said your grandfather, but does your family come to watch you wrestle? Do they enjoy what you do? Are they supportive behind you?
Well, my mother's come to see me a couple of times. She's a huge supporter of me. I'm her only kid, so of course she's going to support me no matter what.
Okay.
Welcome back to good people. Dad, how can I put this lightly? He's my sperm donor.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We share the same father then.
You feel me? So,
no doubt.
He's never, unfortunately, my biological father has never been active in my life. And it's to his detriment, because now, me, doing what I'm doing, living my dream and going after what I've gone after, he's, me and him, he's reached out to me in recent years, and I reached out to him, and it didn't feel natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, So now you want to, now you want to be a part of this.
Yeah. Like that's the same thing. That's the same thing for me as well. Like when I had I just recently back in December had a tryout match with WWE, and I was out there, and as soon as I got done with it and everything was cool, I came back home. My pops reached out to me. Hey, how you doing? And I was like, well, you must have caught word, huh? I'm like, oh, that's what you doing. I got you.
Right. He recognized games. It's like, you know what? All right, that's when you want to play that. Got you.
I got you, partner. I see what you're doing there. But so tell me about MLW. Tell me about your position in MLW. And where do you fit in with that roster?
All right. So I honestly always felt like I was not supposed to be with MLW. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at that roster, and it's a who's who of independent stars. Guys that have been world traveled, that have won titles all over the place. And then you have this unknown fat kid from Miami. Like, who is he? Who? What? And then you see what I read, that's like, okay, he's different. I get it. So, funny story about that. I remember when I seen that they were first time, and my peoples were like, yo, why don't you send your information out there? What's the worst that can happen?
Right.
Well, why not? So got my information out there. I got contacted back by the VP of talent, and he was like, hey, well, we like what you bring to the table. You bring something different. You're not like every other big man. We can bring you on. And this will be the date. This is what, here are all the details. And it was a weekday, and of course we know with independent guys, hey, we have a card.
Yeah.
So here I am, I complete sick. to drive up to Orlando to make this show happen, man, and I wasn't gonna do it. And something in my heart just said, man, just go do it. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
And here we are.
Wow. That's cool. That's super cool. So yeah, I mean, I'm going through this roster of MLW. I mean, it's amazing. Like there's talent upon talent there. How do you feel with the talent that's there? How do you feel ranked up against them? And who do you think? Not even who do you think can stop you, but because I'm sure you don't think anybody can stop you because that's how you're supposed to think, But who do you think would be your biggest competition there to put a roadblock in front of you, or who would you want to wrestle?
As far as in MLW, everybody.
Okay.
I feel like Troopy presents a unique challenge and presents a unique and diverse skill set that I would have to overcome. But if I have specifics, I gotta say low key. I gotta say Tom Lawler. I gotta say Pentagon, and I want Jacob Fatu again, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking through this roster. This roster is amazing.
Well, speaking of something that's upcoming for Barrington, NOW, where that I'm going to be tomorrow. Yeah. They announced that Barrington's going to be there on July 19th for their Friday Night Fights show.
Oh, wow.
And he will be taking on whoever is the NOW heavyweight champion at that time.
And right now,
right now is Project Brewington.
Now, let's talk about that match really quickly. Do you know anything about Project Brewington?
I've been following Tommy for a while. I would consider him a really good friend of mine. Yeah, I see this. Thank you much. Sorry about that.
No, you good. You back in the building?
Thanks for doing this. Hey, I had to make a quick stop right quick, man.
No doubt.
So, so long story short, basically, I've known Tommy for a little while, and it just happened to come across. I look at him as one of my peers that if I needed, if I had tape or if I had something I wanted him to review or promo, I would always send it over to him for his unique input because he's one of the better ones at what he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
With the opportunity of NOW coming up, it's like, okay, you know what I bring to the table. I know what you bring to the table. Let's see who stacks up better.
Wow. Yeah. Like Tommy?
longer, my strength or your stamina?
Yeah, you got a point. Yeah, Tommy's got stamina. I've wrestled Tommy several times, and he's got it. Tommy has a mind for this business. You know, he definitely knows what he's doing, and he knows what he's talking about. You know, and I think Tommy is a technician. You know, so with that being said, you've got the strength and you've got the size, but not to be rude. Please don't think. But do you think you have the mental stability to go up against a technician like Tommy? Because Tommy's strong as well. Me and Tommy worked out before. Like me and Tommy went to the gym. You know what I'm saying? And we both was pushing up. We both was pushing up 600 on the leg press.
What is he doing now?
I said we both was pushing up 600 on the leg press.
Oh, that's so cute. But what's your squat though?
Okay, you got that one.
Listen, me and my partner Mosey come out. We can push about 1,400 on leg press.
Ooh.
Now what we squat right now, I'm squatting about 495. He squats about 585.
So we're talking
the movement that matter.
We're talking like Barrington Hughes versus Roscoe Black strength.
Yeah. So with that being said, then with that strength, do you think you have the chess-like mentality to go up against a technician like Tommy for his heavyweight title? You know how hungry that is. Hungry people get for that.
Oh yeah. And I think it's sweeten the pot even more, man, because I'm currently the full throttle heavyweight champion down here, representing Florida. I told him, if I'm still champion come June or July, whenever we meet up, I'm putting my belt on the line too.
Ooh.
I'm winner take all.
I like that. I'm gonna have to come to that show.
What is with all these? You can't.
I'm not gonna be able to.
Damn, you cannot.
Damn, I'm not gonna be able to make that show. Son of a bitch.
I will have to send you tape.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely check that one out. But yeah, so Barrington, man, we want to thank you for joining us, man. I mean, it's been a pleasure, a huge pleasure with you being with us. At this moment in time, it's your time to shine. This is your time to plug. So plug away. How can people find you?
All right, let's run down the list. We got Facebook at Barrington Hughes, at Tragic City, at the Gold Standard. We have Instagram at The Real Hughesy Poo, Twitter at Hughesy Poo, Snapchat at Hughesy-Poo. Check out my What a Maneuver store. Check out Dapper Dan Ragu's What a Maneuver store. Support Tragic City. Support black wrestlers. Support trans wrestlers. Support LGBTQ wrestlers. Support right wrestlers. Support good wrestlers. Support wrestlers. I love y'all. Good night.
You know what? It's not even good night now because you just brought up a whole nother question for me real quick. Did you hang up?
Yeah.
Son of
he cut it. Yeah.
All right. So with all that hashtagging you just did, and with that, you brought up one more question for me that I want to just talk to you about basically briefly. You know, you said support black wrestlers, support trans wrestlers, you know, support all of that. With that, previously in the podcast, I was just talking about how it's a great time to be in pro wrestling at this moment in time due to the fact that there are so many different aspects of life in pro wrestling. There's transgender wrestlers now. You know, women wrestlers are starting to get the shine. Black wrestlers are starting to get shine. You know, all different type of ethnicities, sexualities are starting to get the shine. How do you feel, or what do you think was a major change in that from the time of the good old country boys to now?
We're not accepting bigotry anymore. We're not accepting racism anymore. We're not accepting that prepubescent boys club bullshit anymore. You know, we've come together as a community, as brothers and sisters that love this business, that love what we're doing, and we want to leave it better than what we came into. And we're not allowing that bullshit to ride anymore. We're putting a stamp on it. It's like, no more.
Yeah. Definitely. Man,
that's a hell of a way to end it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, again, Barrington, thank you, man. We truly appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? We wish you definitely good luck on everything you do. Unfortunately, I can't make it to the Tommy show that you're gonna wrestle Tommy at if he's still heavyweight champion. You know, I won't be on the podcast for quite some time because I'm going to Albany and I got to go downstate for a little bit. But you know, it is what it is.
Of course.
You know.
We'll cross paths again. I promise you, man.
Yes, indeed. Like I said again, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Y'all boys be blessed. best.
You
Good
too. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a great interview. You know, I mean, Barrington Hughes is an awesome wrestler.
He is.
You know, he's doing his thing. He's ripping up the indies. You know, making a name for himself. And that was a great interview. Like Pat G said, you know, great answers as well. You know, but he said that off air. But you know, I'm saying it now. You know, but great answers. Thank you for joining us. You know, but let's shift gears and talk about the big conglomerate that we usually talk about.
Yep.
Which is WWE.
WWE and Money in the Bank. This Sunday, the Money in the Bank.
Money in the Sasha Banks.
As Becky Lynch.
You ain't gonna comment on my Sasha Banks?
No.
Really? Nothing?
Nope.
You're just gonna leave me hanging like that.
We'll leave that alone.
Whatever, dude.
We'll leave it alone.
Continue on.
Becky
jackass.
Lynch, also known as Becky Two Belts.
Two Belts.
Defending her titles, the Raw Women's Championship against Lacey Evans, and the SmackDown Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair.
Yep. I honestly believe she's gonna lose one of these titles.
Nope.
You don't think
She's
so?
gonna keep them both.
I think
She's gonna keep. Nope. She's gonna keep them both.
I think she's gonna lose to nefarious tactics. That's our favorite word here on Turnbuckle Talk
That's
Radio
my
Podcast. That is yours. That is yours.
That is my word.
That is yours.
Nefarious tactics.
I like that though. So I think she's gonna lose one of them to nefarious tactics, which is gonna continue. I don't think she's gonna lose it to Charlotte. I think she's gonna lose it to
Lacey.
To Lacey by nefarious tactics.
Okay. Well, a SmackDown Tag Team title match. We'll see Daniel Bryan and Rowan defending against the Usos.
So Daniel Bryan has went to tag team now.
Yes.
Okay. Which is good. Which is a good change because he's been in the spotlight too long.
Tony,
not too long, but he's been in the spotlight long enough.
Yeah. Tony Nese, the Cruiserweight Champion, is going to be defending against Arya Daivari. Samoa Joe defending the U.S. title versus Rey Mysterio. Kofi Kingston defending the WWE Championship versus Kevin Owens.
Let's stop right there. Let's talk about that for a second because I didn't like how quick they made the match. I think they could have waited until the last week.
Yeah. Kevin Owens even said that. Kevin Owens did an interview with somebody and he's like, I felt like I could have delayed the turn.
You could have.
A little bit longer.
You could have. Like, I mean, you
Longer.
had them either. Like, everybody knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because Kofi didn't have a match yet. So you knew it was going to happen. But if you would have delayed it a little bit longer and made it look like it wasn't going to be Kevin Owens, you would have thrown the curve.
Bigger effect.
Exactly.
Bigger effect.
If you would have had somebody come out, try and attack Kofi, Kevin Owens beat the hell out of them. Oh, wait a minute. Kevin Owens might be really part of New Day until Big E comes back.
Yeah. Or like they did this past week with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn showed up because Kofi and Xavier Woods got up on Kevin. Sami Zayn involved himself and it was like, well, maybe Kevin Owens isn't alone. Had Sami Zayn been that guy to kind of been attacking Kofi, it would have been. I don't think so. Maybe the left hand telling right hand?
No. I don't think not Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn would have been too predictable because they're boys.
Yeah.
You needed somebody else to attack Kofi to take the heat off of Kevin Owens.
Yep.
That's completely not related to Kevin Owens or Kofi to beat him up to say, wait a minute, Kevin is a part of Kofi. He likes Kofi for real. And that last minute snap.
But kind of like when Kevin Owens debuted with Sami Zayn and gave him the powerbomb on the apron.
Yep.
And
exactly. Same way. Like, yo, we're good. We're friends. We're boys.
I'm helping you.
Boom.
Yep. Okay.
That's what they should have done.
All right. The Miz versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match.
Let's go to the next match.
Roman Reigns taking on Elias.
I think that's going to be a really good match. I like these two together. I really do. I like Elias. Elias is an amazing talent.
I like Elias. The WWE Universal Championship match will see Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles.
Yep.
And in the two Money in the Bank contract matches for the women, you're going to see Natalya taking on Dana Brooke, Naomi, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Ember Moon, Carmella, and Nikki Cross, who has been a replacement for Alexa Bliss
because she is not medically cleared
due to medical clearance.
Yep.
A lot of people think Alexa Bliss has another concussion or is still having concussion symptoms.
Yep. So
hopefully for Alexa Bliss, it's not as serious as it, but we've seen what Daniel Bryan went through. So
So let's make your predictions right now. Let's make them.
I'm gonna go crazy, and I'm gonna go with Nikki Cross.
Hell no.
Nikki Cross or Ember Moon?
I'm going with Ember Moon. I was going with Ember Moon regardless. I was just talking to somebody about it earlier. Mm-hmm. I think it's time. Ember Moon has been under the spotlight for so long, just treading away and doing her thing.
Kind of just waiting.
And now it's time. I think now it's time they skyrocket her, up.
Okay.
So I think this is her shot right here.
All right. And in the men's Money in the Bank, you'll see Sami Zayn, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Mustafa Ali, Finn Balor, Andrade, and Randy Orton.
So I missed Raw because I didn't miss Raw, but I missed the match with Sami Zayn and...
Sami Zayn won the match to replace Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman.
Yes.
Did they say... How did he beat him? Did you see it?
No. It was nefarious tactics.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, because it was a false count anywhere match.
It was nefarious tactics.
Like
Corbin, McIntyre, and Elias got involved.
There we go. Okay, that's all I needed to know. I just wanted to know how it happened.
Yeah.
All right, cool beans. So who you got for this one? This one is a ricochet. Boom.
I'm gonna go McIntyre.
I was gonna go McIntyre.
I'm gonna go McIntyre because McIntyre is the type of guy that if he has that contract, he's not gonna cash it in immediately. He's gonna wait for his moment.
You don't think he's gonna cash it in immediately? I think he would. I think he would cash in immediately and decimate whoever it was.
Most likely to be Seth Rollins,
which is Seth.
But I'm using this as the Universal title match is going to be before the Money in the Bank match. Mm-hmm. So McIntyre wins. I feel like McIntyre's gonna wait for that most opportune moment to strike.
Yeah, I think this is McIntyre's time right now. McIntyre, of course, left, came back.
Yep,
looks freaking amazing. Is a monster of a man right now. I think WWE is waiting to give him the actual push that they needed, and this is the way to give him that push.
Absolutely. And get him away from that nonsense with being in a group with Lashley and Corbin and Elias.
Exactly. You already said the two Beckys are going to win. Yeah, I think Becky's going to beat Charlotte, but lose to Lacey. Seth Rollins and AJ.
Rollins.
Roman and Elias.
Roman.
Of course. He's the John Cena right now. Miz and Shane, do we really want to...
Miz.
Yeah, I guess we got to do
going Miz.
We're going to have to go with Miz.
Miz. Just because of the way he lost Mania.
Yeah, I guess.
But that'll be the WWE 50-50 booking.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be... Right, it's 50-50 booking, but I think because it's the cage match, Shane is going to do something stupid from the top of the rope and Miz is going to push him off.
Yeah.
And then that's how Miz is going to win. Kofi and Kevin...
I want Kofi to keep it.
You think they're going to pull it off of Kofi already?
I want Kofi to keep it, but I think they're going to put it on Owens because the heel champion always makes the better chase.
That's what I've always said. You learned something there. There you go. I'm glad I could learn you something there. Samoa Joe and Ray.
Joe.
I think it's going to be Ray finally. I think they're going to pull it off of Joe and have Ray chase. I mean, have him chase him down again and do a rematch for the back, probably.
I'm curious to see what they do with the whole Dominic thing.
I'm going to go with Ray.
Okay.
Tony Nese and...
Tony Nese retains.
Yeah, hell yeah. He just got it.
And then Bryan and Rowan will retain. I don't think they'll pull the belts off them just yet.
Bryan and Rowan are the champions?
Yep. Bryan... Yeah, they were given the belts. Because the Hardys vacated them.
Oh, that is right.
And Shane was like, here you go.
Hardy is injured.
Yep, because Jeff had the shoulder surgery.
That is right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, that's the show.
That is the show.
This is my last show for quite some time.
It is.
Wow, that's weird.
For at minimum 2 months.
No, longer.
Maybe
than
longer.
Longer than that.
Okay.
I mean, but I'm still here, guys. You know,
you'll check in periodically when you can.
Yeah, you know, I may drop some voicemails that Patsy can play on. You know, play here, and you know, I mean, I'm still around. Hit me up on Facebook. You know, Instagram, and we make it happen.
Yeah.
So for Pat G, the G stands for gangster. I am Cyclone Jones for my last time signing out for quite some time until I'm able to come back.
And no, I'm not taking the Cyclone call because I can't do it.
No, of course not. No, they got to come up with their own shit when they do this. But ladies and gentlemen, Cyclone!
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.